Alright, good morning guys. Oh no, I should say good afternoon. It's definitely my lunch break right now. But time is just simply flying by. And I know myself well enough to know that if I don't start recording and documenting here soon, then I'm going to regret it, quite frankly, as I so often do. We kind of had the same experience back when we got married, that I wish I would have done as much documentation as possible. I honestly feel that way towards anything in my life. But so at this point in time, the time you're probably seeing this video, you will now know that of course we are expecting our first little blessing. So little baby on the way. I don't think we're going to find out the gender, but we don't have until another 4 or so weeks to find out. So right now I'm currently 16 weeks. I don't really have much of a baby bump to show you, but I mean, let's see. Like, can you tell there's just a little something? Really not much at all. I keep waiting for the day that there actually will be something worth showing to people because everyone keeps asking, and no movement, no bump to show for it yet. But anyways, wanted to get on here because I know time's flying by. I want to document these weeks. I wanted to catch you guys up because I haven't actually filmed anything related to pregnancy at this point, aside from when we told friends and family, so I think that might be just like one collective video, quite frankly. So right now, as of today, it's currently Tuesday. I will have just turned 16 weeks today. So with that, we of course are a little bit over a third of the way through. So I just want to catch you guys up on a couple things. So I'll do a first trimester recap, so if I do film that video, it'll be on one of these sides, hopefully. But currently, things are going great. The only, I'd say, complaint, if I was going to have one at the current moment, as I would just love to not currently be under the weather or overly mucusy. I know that can be a pregnancy symptom, so I don't know if that is pregnancy or simply the fact that we simply returned from Colorado about a week ago now for a friend's wedding, and having come back into the Kentucky, we'll just say allergy bowl that we exist in. Don't know if that's what prompted it, but overall, that is just the worst thing that I could complain about. Genuinely, I think I've been blessed with a very easy pregnancy, relatively speaking, and I could not be more thankful for it. But figured it'd be fun to take you guys along. I'm sure we will have a lot more catching up to do because obviously it's been a very long time since I've told you guys anything. And by the time you're seeing this, I might already have had said baby because I'm so behind on filming. So again, rather document it than not, but hope you guys understand and just enjoy me sharing along the way. So I'll take you guys with me as we go through my 16th week of pregnancy this week. So I can't jump you guys straight into week 16 without touching on week 15 of pregnancy, which is when we were out here in Steamboat, Colorado for our good friend's weddings. So John and Kendra, if you're watching this, congratulations. Hope these first months of marriage have been treating you well. And in case you didn't already know this, you threw the most amazing wedding weekend ever. But with that being said, I really felt pregnant on a lot of these little ventures, such as the hiking here. We'll get into more of that in just a second. Fog is rolling in so fast. So, as I was alluding to, I really felt the fact that I was pregnant this go round. There was actually another pregnant or expectant mom with me on this trip, and she ended up bailing out of this hike, understandably so, but the wedding party, primarily the bride especially, really wanted to go for this hike because they are from out west, or rather she's from out west. They started their relationship out west with hikes and such. So we found this, I think it was actually an out and back, so I think it was a 5-mile hike to the top of this waterfall and then 5 miles back. Thankfully, everyone involved decided that this was simply just too much and that we were all wearing the wrong clothes and such to do this. Instead, it was just a moderate hike on all trails. It was certainly worse than that. So by I think 3 miles in, we turned back around even though we were so close, also because we needed to get back home for us to get ready for the rehearsal dinner. But I have never felt so winded and out of shape in my life. Genuinely amazed. But here we are, kind of getting through the end of the day, and I briefly showed you guys me getting ready for the rehearsal dinner. They wanted us to kind of wear rust tones and whatnot. And so just wanted to enjoy some time around town. So us and the other guest went to go explore the town of Steamboat. We stumbled upon this really cute coffee shop and bookstore, as you can see. But we really spent a good hour or two before their rehearsal and our leading up, just exploring the town. Truly makes me want to go back. I've been to Colorado a couple times in my life. A couple places that are particularly near to my heart would be Breckenridge. Went there with my family a couple times when I was younger, and then most recently went skiing, or rather for me, snowboarding out there with my family, immediate family, here about a year ago. So it was really fun to be back, and this was actually Sam, my husband's very first time in Colorado. So it was extra special, not to mention, we actually got to see the first snow of the season, which was actually very, very early that year. And I'm not sure if this is a good omen or not because it made for a very beautiful morning, but it was actually our bride-to-be's wedding morning, and they were supposed to be having an outdoor ceremony, so that changed all the plans, but looking back now, the bride is so thankful that's how it worked out. As you can see here, this was the ceremony set up in the rental house that we were in. It could not have been more pretty than it was. Honestly, it was a stunner. But all in all, we had such a lovely weekend, and I'll show you guys a little house tour real quick in case you ever have interest in renting the place that we had. Honestly, it was quite the setup. Had pool table, had ping pong, darts, foosball, grand old view and living room. Still can't get over that. Pool table. Little dining table that doubles as your poker table. We just got done with breakfast, but big old kitchen and big old table. And then the other rooms upstairs were absolutely massive. But that gives you a nice little view. So that was the rental house, and on our last day together, because we actually caught a ride with the bridal party since we were all from similar areas of Kentucky, at least flying out of Nashville. So we hung out with them that afternoon flying home and got to go explore town a little bit more, and then went to play mini golf, and then that really brought us back to week 16. So here we are. Had my midwife appointment, and it all went well for the most part. Simply speaking, the one thing that we were worried about was seeing if in fact baby was progressing appropriately and that the heart rate sounded good. This whole time the heart rate's been a little bit high, and I'm just measuring smaller, but they said that's more so due to height, but we'll get into more of that. The last little update that I have for you is that we also did just pick up a Moses basket off of Facebook Marketplace that I think we're going to use as a bedside bassinet, but I'll keep you guys updated. Alright guys, good morning. So, seems as I really shouldn't make any promises to you guys probably ever. So that day that I spoke to you was Tuesday. That night I got sick for the very first time in my entire pregnancy. And I mean by sick, I mean actually throwing up sick. Literally spent the entire rest of the night in bed and wanted to spend the next couple days in bed if I could have, but really all I did was simply just work and get through the days. So there was really nothing to keep you guys aware of and or just to catch you guys up on, unless you just wanted to see me sick all day and just laying in bed, which I guess some people would do, but I'm not going to. So it is now Saturday morning. We have a lot of plans today, so I'm very much excited for those. First thing currently is me and Sarah meeting together for a little coffee date at Quill's as a catch up. The last time we did this, she actually had like a 2 or 3 week old newborn or less at that point. So definitely well overdue for a nice little girls coffee date. But we are currently over in the Gaslight District near Jefferson, and there is a farmer's market going on. There is so much cute decor. Like, okay, so for a lot of places in Louisville, it feels like there's not much charm. I would say that Jeffersontown is one of the few areas that actually still has some of that charm. And ironically, we almost bought a house that was like, I think 2 miles down the road from here. Like, it was walkable, quite frankly. And now I kind of wonder what life would have been like if that would have worked out. But that is all for now. Sarah should be walking up any minute, so I'll catch you guys up a little bit more a little bit later. Hope you guys are okay with the chatty vlog. That kind of seems like what we might be in for today. We are back in the car now. I just want to do a very quick farmer's market haul because we went actually from the coffee shop to the local farmer's market down the road. which honestly, I almost feel like that should be a new weekly tradition. I would love in a perfect world to buy or grow all of our own produce. So again, grow it or to get it from my farmer's market, including all baked goods that I don't make myself if we choose to do so, and especially our meats. I love nothing more than getting to support our local ranchers overall, because I know how hard they're working. Not that of course those that are growing produce aren't, but you don't have a year or more built up into something, typically speaking, like you do in terms of like cattle or something adjacent to that. But tangent all its own, I want to show you what I got. So we got this pear cider, which I've actually never seen in my life. Very excited to try that. He said it's basically a sweeter version of apple cider, so kind of like when you have that little tart aspect of an apple cider. You don't actually have to sweeten this by any means, you just heat it up, or you can drink it as it is. We also got some, hold on. Okay, also got some local farm fresh pasture raised eggs, so beautiful little brown guys. And then lastly, not worth pulling out, but I did grab us a cabbage so that we can use that to put on our tacos later. So that is our plan currently, but wanted to share that with you guys. My brain lately in pregnancy is so comical. I swear I intend to say one thing and it comes out entirely different. And that seems to be pretty much a daily, if not hourly situation I find myself in. But that is it for now. I'm gonna head back home, and I think we're supposed to be going later today, if it's not pouring rain, out to the Meet Your Makers over at the Hermitage Farm, where Barney is in Louisville, so kind of out in like Shelby-ish County, I believe. But it is currently supposed to pour rain all afternoon, so I'm not sure if we're just gonna suit up, get on our rain jackets and some boots and call it a day, or what the plans are, because we were supposed to be meeting my family there as well. But guess we'll see what ends up happening. You're so inappropriate. Honestly, I love the black and red, but I wouldn't want that for our farm. I swear this farm just makes me so happy at every little point. Like, that could be a picture that I would hang up somewhere, honestly.
What?
Just this tree cascading over too far, like the horse running in the barn.
I'm just driving here.
Alright, so we just finished up over at the Barn 8 Meet Your Maker event. Had a lot of fun, but honestly there was a lot of the same things and vendors that I would say have been at most of the other maker style event here recently, or like things over like the Madison, Indiana one that we went to. Very, very similar. But they did have amazing food. So we actually got some pork bao buns, some apple cider. Sam got one that has a little bit of bourbon in it, but not much. But now we're heading out to the farm to go check on the Christmas trees and just do a little bit of farm work that we have to catch up on. But ironically, I did actually run into Sarah and her family, again, the friend that I was just having coffee with this morning. And we didn't even mention anything about this in terms of our plans for later that day. And we ran into each other over at the petting zoo, so I just thought that was hilarious. But that is all for now. Just figured I'd catch you guys up on the day. I know we haven't spoken too much. Alright, well, bad update so far. I've walked the majority of our Christmas tree field, and so far we have about a 10% success rate. So we planted around 100 trees. Currently I've only counted around 10. Granted, I have one more row left to go. But we're not looking too pretty. However, I will say, in my defense, when we planted these, we did think we were going to be building out here. So we thought we'd be out here to take care of them, maybe around summer months. That obviously did not happen. Therefore, I'm not going to lie, they did get neglected. So one, need to do more research, just to make sure I'm doing things correctly, since it's not that common, of course, to do it in our zone. Two, maybe be out here more if you're gonna plant something like this. All right, a little bit later, official verdict is in. We have a 15% success rate 6 months into us trying to do the Christmas trees. So not good at all. But again, from what I said, you can't really hope for too much when you're going to neglect them. So it is what it is. I'm gonna go check on the in-laws and Sam. They were hauling some leftover wood up from our culvert build back up to the barn. I'm gonna go throw away some trash that blew out onto the property. Otherwise, I do want to check out our culvert, because now we supposedly have our second culvert in, so we can finally get back up to our house, or future house site, I should say, once again. And then want to see the pond. I have not seen the pond except for from a distance in months, as in like probably since February. So gonna go do that. Wow. God, I love this place with literally my whole heart, and more if that's even possible. Well, our stray cow might be finding his way back home. Potentially. Little dot right there.
No, he's not.
Welcome to week 17 of my pregnancy. This week I think I kind of ended off without very much chatty aspects that I intended to. So last week, of course, we did have our 16-week checkup, more so just a little bit of Doppler check-in. Baby's heart rate's still going good between the 140s, 150s, and they hear lots of movement in there. This baby's been moving quite a bit the whole time, quite frankly, from what they've been saying. But thankfully this time it didn't make us have to wait 4 to 5 minutes to find the heartbeat, because that scared the absolute bejesus out of me a couple weeks prior to that. But everything's perfectly fine and healthy. And then we have our anatomy scan scheduled here in 3 weeks from now, which I'm very excited for, because that's going to be the next time that Sam will actually get to see and hear baby. Of course, I've gotten the chance to hear baby the last 2 sessions that I've had with the midwives, but he hasn't heard this baby or seen the baby since, of course, that very first ultrasound. And quite frankly, the baby kind of looked more so like a little, I'll say teeny tiny little bean, or if you want to call him alien-like in that sense, kind of more so looked like that a little bit. So I'm looking forward to seeing this baby actually look more developed and more, again, human-like in that regard. I hope that'll make it a little bit more real to me. I think that's one of the big things that I've been struggling with, is that to some degree this pregnancy still doesn't entirely feel as though it's actually happening. Again, I think I've gotten pretty blessed in terms of an easy first trimester in comparison to the majority from what I've heard. But I'm also, again, I don't feel pregnant. I don't feel like I look pregnant, with me being taller at nearly 5'10", 5'11", somewhere between there. Keep shrinking, unfortunately. But with me being a taller female, I've been told, especially with me likely carrying on my back, as they predict, that I may be well into my mid-20s before I'm actually showing any signs of pregnancy, whereas I feel like a lot of my friends that are just more petite or of shorter stature in that regard sometimes started showing as early as like 14 weeks, give or take. So I was kind of expecting somewhere around then that I might feel that I had somewhat of a baby bump. But it seems like the only thing that seems to be changing right now is just somewhat of my personality, and then I will be quite honest for females watching that just the top section here has been quite a nuisance, as it's become larger to accommodate, I guess, future breastfeeding in that sense, but more so just acclimating to that. But otherwise, day in, day out, the only thing that I'd say that's pertinent to me that I've noticed in terms of pregnancy symptoms more so is that sometimes I just will simply completely lose my train of thought or mince my words so much more than I used to in the past, which I will say is quite frustrating given the fact that my job is counseling based. So I spend 95% of my day talking to people for 8+ hours a day. So to be mixing up your words, especially in a medical setting, it's not the most ideal situation, but we are running with it. I don't think it is too bad. I just catch myself every once in a while having to correct what I said. But that is it for now. Figured I'd start this vlog off before I maybe end up forgetting to film it, unfortunately. and kind of take you guys along for what we have in store this week. So today I'm meeting up with Sarah for a little catch-up girls' day yet again, even though we literally just had a coffee on Saturday morning. But sometimes we go a couple days, sometimes we go weeks on end, so whatever kind of works out their schedules, we just make the most of it. And then go into the grocery store here in just a few minutes. But we do have a couple things to look forward to this weekend. So we should hopefully, we'll say God willing and weather permitting, be planting our tulip bulbs and daffodil bulbs so that we can have those come into bloom around the time that baby is born next year. And then we are also supposed to be going to Heber's, which is a local, we'll say, family farm that's quite actually large here in the Louisville, Indiana area. So with that, then I think we're doing that all day Sunday, or majority of the day Sunday, so I'm very much looking forward to that. But we'll kind of catch up from there, see where the wind takes us this week, and I'll take you through all the fun festivities that we hopefully get up to, and honestly more the mundane aspects that just is everyday life if I can remember to do so. Good morning, guys. Welcome back from me and my very ball-obsessed little boy here. I swear he could play ball for easily 2 or more hours a day if we had the time to do it. But nothing else. He'll get his little time in the morning if I can, each and every day. But I will say, it is absolutely freezing. Like, you can definitely see my breath right now if I have been out here for so long. So, a little frigid, but if it makes his day, yeah, if it makes his day, it's worth it. He got impatient. Alright guys, 17 weeks. Pants are getting quite tight, as in, it is so, I could button them if I had to, but it would not stay, it would just shoot open. So, still waiting for the bump though. Hasn't quite got there yet, it's just kind of here. Alright guys, welcome back. It is Friday afternoon. We've spoken a little bit, but I'm going to be 100% honest with you. It has been the most rainy, dreary week ever, and quite frankly that's really impacted my mood, compounded by the fact that I just had an extensive amount of work, it seems, this past week. So most of our nights were spent catching up on work and having a lot of hard discussions about our future. So with that being said, then let's get into the fun aspect of this weekend. So right now I have one chart left to do. Gonna take these boys outside because they are dying to go, and honestly it's beautiful, it's sunny. Honestly, I need it for my mental health and just need to see the sun for the first time in literally 5 days. So let's go enjoy. friends, welcome back. It's Saturday morning now, well, almost Saturday afternoon, and we are currently on our way out to the farm here in just a minute. The plan is to try and dig as many holes as possible for our daffodil and tulip bulbs so that hopefully come next spring we get to enjoy all of them. Honestly, at this point, I'm almost seeing it as one, of course, an investment in the farm, but really more so, I would say, like a Mother's Day present to myself, seeing as how daffodils and tulips are one of the first flowers to actually bloom around Mother's Day. And that'll be my first Mother's Day, I think, on maternity leave at that point in time too. So looking forward to it, and honestly, just kind of hoping to, I guess, bless myself in that way, but also just finally make some progress on the farm. Honestly, it's been a little bit, and honestly, the Christmas trees not working out too well, which we've already had that conversation, but it's a little bit disheartening. And you really can't go wrong with any kind of daffodil or tulip bulbs, or really any kind of bulb as a whole. So looking forward to this, very much looking forward to next spring more so than anything else, but just want to build this farm.
Recording this.
I am. It's currently hidden on a dirt pile.
Let's see that.
I'm trying to get better, but there's a lot of things I'm like, oh, I didn't even record any of that. Like, I didn't record much of all the Christmas trees.
Yeah, that would be good content.
I know. I think every time I come out here, I'm so focused on just like getting the work done. I don't actually think to record because I'm like, oh, it's going to take so much longer. Want to have these memories to look back on, if nothing else, so you might want to consider that.
Yeah,
oh yeah, that too. And honestly, I have all this footage I need to just make the freaking video. Look at that little patch. Just so you guys know, that is 64 holes plus our trench. So we're making progress. So, I think we're calling it quits today. So right now we have mixed daffodils, the whole trench of daffodils, between all the orange flags here, all the way down, right there. Are going to be our mixed tulips. Again, right now the trench is kind of lining the front of all the tulips. Sam bought me a whole bunch of yellow daffodils, like pure, just regular yellow daffodils to put in the middle that I want to put here. Going to add a whole nother set down there of actually more tulips. And we have enough daffodils that are mixed daffodils to then end off back here with the mixed daffodils. So that's the hope. Alright, y'all are going to forgive the atrocious lighting. Look, I know, we're just cozy, cuddled up. It's Saturday night. I realized I did not even talk to you, I think, since we left the farm, because we were in such a rush. So we came home, got changed, we came home, got showered, got changed, because we were very dirty from doing the farm work, so we could go have our dinner with friends. Didn't even have time, unfortunately, to film me getting the salad together, or even to have time to unfortunately get the icing I was going to put in the cookies that we'd made earlier ready. I think they'd be much better with the icing, quite frankly, but they were still good with that. Honestly, it kind of felt like a pumpkin chewy bar, quite frankly. But all in all, dinner was amazing. Honestly, time with friends is always so cherished. But now I am in bed with this sleepy little baby here who's dreaming so hard, and trying to get some of the editing done, because obviously at this point you guys are well aware we are very, very backlogged in the video, so I'm trying to catch up. But every time I think there's a chance, something just comes up in terms of plans, life, pregnancy, or whatever. So let's get to it. So hopefully this gets up to you guys by tomorrow evening, which for you guys, obviously, you'll never know when that was.